She stepped forward instead, closing the gap until it was just a few steps from him. You've been chasing me for weeks, sending letters, following me, whispering like some ghost from the past. But here's the thing. Her voice was low, steady. I don't scare as easily as I used to. Something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, amusement, and then, from behind, a sharp shout police. Two uniformed officers, torches cutting through the fog. The man in the coat's expression hardened instantly. He stuffed the knife back into his coat and stepped away, melting into the side street with his men before the torches reached them. One of the officers called out, "Everything all right here?" And they answered quietly, "We're just leaving." As they turned the corner, Maya's knee nearly gave out. Ade steadied hers. "It's not done," Ade said. That was a warning. Next time, he won't walk away. Maya swallowed hard. "Then we have to find him first." Ade looked at her like she do just suggested walking into fire. "Maya?" "No," she said, her voice sharper than she do expected. "I've been running since Lagos. I'm not running anymore." Morning in Brixton was loud. Market traders shouting prices, buses rumbling past, the metallic rattle of shutters rolling up. But in Maya's flat, the only sound was the ticking of her wall clock. Each second reminded her that the man in the coat was still out there. She sat at the table with Ade, a half-drunk cup of tea going cold between them. "You really want to do this?" Ade asked. "Find him before he finds you." "This isn't a movie, Maya. People don't walk away from this kind of men." "I'm not walking away," Maya said. "Not again." Her voice was different now, steadier, colder. She'd spent 6 years reacting, surviving, hiding, but something in her shifted last night in that alley. If the knife was the key, she needed to take it out of his hand before he sold it, before it buried her for good. They started where it made sense, the recreation center. And they knew someone who worked there, a cleaner who owed her a favor, a short woman with tired eyes. She agreed to talk in the staff break room. "That man in the coat?" the cleaner said, lowering her voice. "He's not local. Comes in once a week, sometimes twice. Never uses the gym. Just meets people. Always pay cash." "Do you know his name?" Maya asked. The cleaner hesitated. "Not exactly, but I've heard the others call him Odu, like it's a title, not a name." Ade's eyes flickered to Maya. They both knew what that meant. In Lagos, Odu wasn't just a name. It was an alias whispered in the kind of places where debts were paid in blood. The next lead came from unexpected place. A message pinged on Maya's spare phone, the one with the SIM card from the envelope. "If you want the knife, you'll find me at the X midnight." The X in Brixton, that meant the row of converted railway X near the station. Half workshop, half bars, all shadows after dark. And they stared at the message. "It's a trap." "Of course it's a trap," Maya said, "but we need to spring it on our terms." They spent the rest of the day preparing. Ade sourced a second phone, a power bank, and a small recording device she do use in her old work. Maya mapped every alley and exit route around the X. By the time the sky bruised into twilight, her pulse was a steady drumbeat in her ears. Midnight came with ease of a damp pavement under her boot. The X loomed ahead, their curved brick mouth lit by scattered neon lights. He was there, Odu, leaning against a pillar like he owned the street. In his hand, the evidence bag. The knife inside caught the light in the door gleam. "You made it," he said, like they were old friends meeting for drinks. Maya kept her hands close and loose at her sides. "I came for what's mine." His smile sharpened. "And I came for what's mine, the truth, payment, closure." Behind him, the scared men and the broad-shouldered one emerged from the shadows. Maya's heartbeat stayed even. She do expected them, Odo held the bag up. Last chance, Maya. You take this, you do exactly what I said for the next week, or it disappeared, and you disappear with it. Maya took one slow step closer. And if I say no? His smile didn't falter. Then I let the past finish what it started. But before she could answer, Ade's voice caught through the air from somewhere behind the eggs. She's not playing your game anymore, Odu. A flash of movement. Ade stepped out from the shadows, phone in hand, red recording light blinking. Odu's eyes narrowed. You think a little video will stop me? Ade smirked. Not the video, the live stream. Thousands watching right now. For the first time, Odu's calm cracked, and Maya knew this was her moment. The moment Odu's eyes darted to the blinking live stream light in Ade's hand, Maya knew they had shifted the balance. If only for a moment, the scarred man moved first. Lunging towards Ade, she sidestepped, swung the pipe in a clean arc, catching him across the ribs. He stumbled back, cursing. The broad man reached for her, but Maya was already moving, slamming her shoulder into his chest and driving him into the egg wall. Odo didn't fling. He simply slipped the knife back into his coat and started to walk away, calm as if none of this mattered. Oh no, Maya called after him, her voice ringing under the eggs. We are not leaving with that. He paused mid-step, half turning. And you're going to stop me? Yes. She stepped forward, her voice rising so the live stream could reach every word. 6 years ago, you watched my brother frame me for something I didn't do. You filmed it. You've been holding it over me. For what? Money? Power? Odu's lips curved faintly. Survivor. We all survive the way we know how. Not anymore, she said, and then she ran straight at him. He tried to sidestep, but she slammed into him, grabbing at his coat. They struggled, body twisting under the dim light, until her hands found the hard sharp on his pocket. She ripped the evidence bag free and stumbled back, clutching it to her chest. The broad man moved forward her again, but stopped when Ade raised her phone liar, turning the camera on him. You touch her, the world sees exactly who you work for, Ade warned. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The one sounds were their breathing and the distant rumble of passing train overhead. Then Odu gave a small, sharp nod to his man. They stepped back. This isn't over, Maya, he said, his voice low. Dangerous. You think you've won? The past has no longer legs than you know. They watched him melt back into the shadows, the fog swallowing his shape. When he was gone, Maya's knee almost buckled. Ade caught her. You are right? She looked at the knife in her hands, a small ugly thing that had stolen 6 years of her life. No, she said honestly, but I'm free enough to start. 2 weeks later, the knife was in police custody. Ade had helped her and handed it with a written statement and the footage from the live stream. The case in Lagos wasn't over, but the truth was finally on record. Maya walked through Brixton market one bright morning, the smell of jack chicken and fresh bread in the air. The fog was gone. The whistle was gone. For now, she knew Odu could resurface any day. But she also knew this. She wasn't running anymore. You can cross oceans to escape your past. But until you face it, it will follow you into every street, every market, every shadow. Survival isn't just about running. Sometimes it's about turning around and standing your ground. If this story gripped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, your past doesn't define you, but your courage to face it can change your future. Subscribe for more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Thank you for coming around. To my returning subscribers, I love you guys. Thank you for your support.